Trapezoid, trapezoid, zoid, zoid. Trapezoid. It's a trapezoid. It's a trapezoid. It's the best trapezoid in the world. We love trapezoids. We love trapezoids. We are a trapezoid and we are the shape of the earth. We are a trapezoid. We are a trapezoid. Trapezoid. What's this button do? What do these other buttons do? Oh, I have a green screen ability. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that I can do that. What can I put there? I don't think I put anything there. Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. Da 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 da. Trapezoid. Trapezoid, 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 trapezoid. I wanna be a trapezoid like no trapezoid ever was. To catch them is my real trapezoid. To train them is my trapezoid. I will travel across the trapezoid, trapezoiding far and wide. Each trapezoid to understand the trapezoid inside. You trapezoid me and I'll trapezoid you. Trapezoid. Got a trapezoid. Got a trapezoid. At least 1 minute of content is needed to create a short. What? But you did one for 49 seconds. I'm so confused. What's going on? Trapezoid. Hey, Killer14 Gaming. How are you? I'm, hanging out here. That right there's my dog. She's an Australian cattle dog. Do you hear the people singing the song of angry men? 'Tis the music of a people who will not be slaves again when the beating of your heart echoes the beating of the drums. There is a life about to start when tomorrow comes. Will you join in our crusade? Hello, Julia's Life. How you doing? How you doing? Well, I'm doing just fine. Hey, Magdalena Nowinowska. I'm sorry you have cancer. That's awful. I don't like that because I think we need to be doing much better for our cancer patients in America. I think it's very unfortunate sometimes the way that things happen here where we don't get proper treatment, where sometimes the treatment is based on people's ability to pay. And that's just, I don't think that's appropriate because there's so much treatment that we can do that can extend people's lives, and it's really unfortunate. I wanna be a trapezoid, like no trapezoid ever trapezoided. To trapezoid is my real trapezoid. To train them is my trapezoid. I want a trapezoid on all the days, like no trapezoid ever trapezoided. To catch them is my real trapezoid. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the trapezoid, searching for a trapezoid. Each trapezoid to understand the power that's inside. You teach me and I'll teach you. Trapezoid. Got a trapezoid. Got a trapezoid. Trapezoid, trapezoid. Trapezoid. We love trapezoids. They're the very best. There's nothing better than a trapezoid. They're my favorite shape. 1-0 Mets. Cal Raleigh just walked. Julio Rodriguez up to bat for the Mariners. Top 6. Mariners ready to go and see what they can do. And Julio takes the first pitch and fouls it off on a 94-mile-an-hour sinker. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Choo, choo, choo. And strike two on a sweeper to Julio Rodriguez here. Remember, the RBI Little League World Series is going on, and Little League would like to make sure that you do not take time out of your day to bet on that, because that's just wrong. So I would also like to remind you of that. We got one on, nobody out. Julio up to bat, 0-2 count, and he takes a sweeper for a ball way outside. Julio looking to hit another, just hit another base hit, maybe. Have Cal score from first. That would be something that would be pretty epic. I've not seen something like that. Julio Rodriguez, strike three, called on a sinker. 4-pitch strikeout. One on, one out. And there's a mound visit here for the Mets as Josh Naylor is up. Mets might be making a change on this. As their McLean, right-handed pitcher, has just hit 91 pitches, 5 1/3 innings, 8 strikeouts, 0 earned runs. He is making his major league debut today. He was the top pitching prospect for the Mets. So the Mets needed something to try to do well for their pitching, and unfortunately, the Mariners seem to have walked right in it. Mets have 1 run on 4 hits. Mariners have no runs on 2 hits and a couple of Cal Raleigh walks. Cal has reached base 3 times, 1 hit, 2 walks, and our other base runner has been Dom Canzone, who has a hit and a strikeout. J.P. Crawford has not struck out today. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. And Cole Young is 0 for 1 with a walk. Cole Young is somebody who's very, very impressive to me. Pitching change. Gregory Soto replaces Nolan McLean. All right, they'll be back shortly to see what happens here. I am genuinely interested to see how this goes. Soto is a left-handed pitcher, age 30. He's 1-3 with a 3.35 ERA in 52 games this year with 1 save, 50 strikeouts in 43 innings, with a 1.26 WHIP and a 3.35 ERA. In his career, he's 15-32 with a 4.16 ERA, 373 games, 7 starts, 56 saves, 390 strikeouts, and 361 innings pitched with a WHIP of 1.42. In his last 7 games, he's 1-1 with 6 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, and walked 1 while striking out 6. His last appearance was on the 12th versus Atlanta, where he went 1 1/3 innings, getting the win, giving up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and struck out nobody. So Mariners have some potential here with Josh Naylor up to bat. Josh Naylor 0 for 2 with a strikeout today. Total bases, Canzone and Cal each have a base, because remember, you don't get a base for walks. I've been playing the show recently, and in the show, I've been getting intentionally walked because I hit so many home runs. Oh dear. First pitch is a 95-mile-an-hour sinker in there for a ball on Naylor inside. Actually looks like he came a little close to hitting him. And Naylor fouls a pitch back. Count evens at 1. Two 95-plus-mile-an-hour sinkers. This is impressive. This is incredibly impressive from the Mets reliever. Josh Naylor sends a ball out to center field, and that ball is caught. Cal has to stay put at first. 1 on, 2 out. Eugenio Suarez is 0 for 2 with a strikeout today, batting .234 with an .837 OPS on the season, but unfortunately batting just over 100 since being acquired by the Mariners. He was able to get that 1 home run, scored the game-winning run in extras during the homestand where we went 8-1. Mariners stand at 1-0 on this part of the road trip and against the Mets, and 2-2 on the road trip between the Orioles and today. Orioles had a perfect game, lost it on a base hit in the 8th with 2 outs. Swinging strike by Gino on a ball in the dirt. 0-2. The ball was in the dirt and Gino swung at it. I don't know why he did that, but he did. Mariners down to their final strike in the 6th inning. And ball in the dirt. Slider at 88 miles an hour. Count goes to 1-2. Gino trying to work his way back into this count. We don't care how they get on base. We just want them on base. Cal Raleigh takes off, and he steals the base. And there's a throwing error by Francisco Alvarez. Cal is into third. That is Cal's 14th stolen base on the season. Cal is looking to go for a 2020 season. He's got 46 home runs. Gino just needs to get the ball in play, a base hit. Get the ball in play on a base hit. Just need a base hit. We've got a bit of a delay here for unknown reasons. I can't exactly tell why. They might be looking at Alvarez. Because Cal stole, then there was a ball in the dirt, then Alvarez threw it. And it is 2-2 on Gino right now. And Eugenio Suarez strikes out swinging on a ball in the dirt. That was not great. Not what we like to see. Nimmo, Alonso, McNeil. Nimmo's 1 for 1. Alonso is 0 for 2. And McNeil is 0 for 2 today. Meanwhile, while we're waiting, we're going to talk about what the Big Ten wants. The Big Ten wants a 24 or 28 team college football playoffs, with the major conferences having some of those playoff spots reserved for them, meaning the Power 5, not the Group of 5. Something like the SEC having 7, the Big Ten having 5, the ACC having 5, which would be 17 of the 28 spots, which would be more than half from 3 from the Power 5 schools. I don't know how I feel about that. It's something that we're going to have to think about over the course of the next few years as we enter another year of the 12-team college football playoff. Brian Wu, 83 pitches, 53 strikes, 5 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned run today. Brian Wu is looking to go and get another start where he goes 6+ innings, so we're going to see what that happens. He has not gone fewer than 6 innings at all this season, and Wu is taking the mound against Brandon Nimmo. All right, looks like we're ready for the game to start happening. Balls have just been flying all over the place on what I'm looking at, which makes absolutely no sense. Because it didn't say there was a home run, which would have been, kind of funny. With 53 strikes, Brian Wu is somebody who really can paint the strike zone. Brian Wu and George Kirby are both pitchers that paint the strike zone for the Mariners, and it does unfortunately lead to them giving up more hits than you would expect at times. However, Brian Wu's only given up 4 today, but it limits walks, and by limiting walks, we have a really good thing as Lindor takes a strike. Not Lindor, Nimmo takes a strike. The Mets have a decent offense. I will say that. That was an 83-mile-an-hour sweeper from Brian Wu. And ball, four-seam fastball, just above the zone, top rail. Wu has been getting better at that whole idea of throwing balls, which is good because we'd love to see that. He has the chance if he goes in play. Brandon Nimmo Brown's out to Cole Young to Josh Naylor. Wu takes 3 pitches to get that out. Nice. We've got Pete Alonso coming up. Pete Alonso was somebody who the Mariners thought about as a first baseman, but he ended up re-signing with the Mets. I do believe he has an option or is going to be a free agent again this year, but I don't know if the Mariners would want to do that. There's this idea that potentially the Mariners move on from Josh Naylor if Josh Naylor's not willing to sign for what the Mariners are willing to pay for. Strike! And the top rail. Ooh, that ump missed that. That was outside the zone. That was above the top rail. I don't know if it was in the estimated ump zone because the umpire auditor will show that tomorrow. And Alonso fouls that one back. I think no matter what, with Wu being at 88 pitches right now, Wu is going to end up being pulled at the end of this inning, just being 1-0. And we're going to go to our leverage arms in Munoz, Brash, and I don't know who else we have right now, because I think Ferguson and Spire are both down today. Ball just above the top rail. Count goes to 1-2 on Pete Alonso. 89th pitch for Brian Wu. 57 of them for strikes. Mariners tomorrow, and the Mets play in. And that's a strikeout on Pete Alonso. Mariners and Mets tomorrow play in Williamsport, Pennsylvania in the Little League Classic. Mariners will be arriving second after the Mets. Both teams will be traveling on game day. They will be staying in their team accommodations in New York City today. The Mets players will most likely stay at the house. And with that, what we know is that the Mariners will unfortunately not be able to see the team from Washington State play tomorrow, as they play at 9 a.m. and the Mariners are not expected to arrive until about noon. Game is at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball. It'll go against, on Fox, the Buffalo Bills Chicago Bears preseason game. And then Jeff McNeil has hit a single. He singled, it went to JP, and then it got deflected by Cole Young and wasn't able to get it. Just not in time. All right, Francisco Alvarez up to bat. Mets catcher. Mets 1 run on 5 hits, called swinging strike on a sweeper. Swing and a miss. My dog is next to me sleeping. She's a good dog. She's an Australian cattle dog mix with German Shepherd. No, not German Shepherd. Siberian Husky. So she doesn't really like what's going on right now with it being like 90 degrees. And Brian Wu with the ball. McNeil on first, and he attempts to pick him off, and it doesn't work. That's 1 step off for Wu. And what? And Alvarez hits a single to Julio. 2 on, 2 outs. Two on, 2 out. Alvarez on first. McNeil on second. Pete Woodworth and Dan Wilson come out to the mound. We might be seeing Brian Wu being relieved here. I don't like it, but if we have to, we have to. It's a 1-0 ball game. You can't manage your team based on individual statistics. Brian Wu would be going for his 25th consecutive start of 6 or more innings. Unfortunately, I think this might be it. Just the fact that he's at 93 pitches, 61 strikes, giving up 6 hits and 1 run, and there's 2 on right now in the bottom of the 6th. I think that Pete Woodworth and Dan Wilson are going to go to the bullpen, but I don't know. I don't know what you do here. I genuinely don't know what you do because there's 2 outs. If there were no outs, it would be an easy one. You just pull them. It's Cedric Mullins, the center fielder, is up next. They didn't pull him, and Mullins takes a ball. That's actually surprising that they didn't pull him. Looks like they didn't need to. So ball 1-0 for Mullins. 2 on, 2 out. 1-0 Mets. And we got the pitch here. Something's happening. Nothing's happening. Obama, and Mullins fouls it off. 95.6 mile an hour fastball. And that's a ball. 2-1. I remember back in the day, I would be watching minor league baseball, and I'd be impressed with like a 92 mile an hour fastball. This was when I was like 12. Swing and strike. Swing and a miss on a slider. 87.7 miles per hour. 2-2. And the full count. We're going to have a payoff pitch here. Pitcher step off, his first. Brian Wu gathering his thoughts, trying to figure out what to do. Very important to figure out what pitch to throw to Cedric Mullins, and he walked him. Bases are juiced. Bases are juiced. Force out at every base. Third baseman Mauricio coming up to face Brian Wu here. Brian Wu on his 99th pitch. Next pitch will be number 100. What about cancer? Ethan, what about cancer? I know Julia said she has it, which is unfortunate. Foul ball. 0-1. Take a commercial for Macy's on my MLB app. And we got a swung on, and that ball is going to be caught by Josh Nagler on a pop-up to first base. Brian Wu gets out of the jam for the 25th time to start the season. Brian Wu goes 6 innings on 101 pitches. Mariners up to bat in the top of the 7th with Jorge Polanco, Dom Canzone, J.P. Crawford to bat. Polanco 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Canzone 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Crawford 0 for 1 with a walk. Everybody's getting their third plate appearance. Looks like the Mets will likely make a change at pitcher. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Mariners are down 1-0 to the Mets. So I'm waiting to see how that goes, and then after that, probably going to watch the Cup race at Richmond. See how that goes. I don't know how that'll go. Because honestly, like the whatchamacallit, the truck race last night was not very good. But part of that was because of who was broadcasting it. Fox has done a horrible job broadcasting NASCAR the last couple of years. And it's been really bad for the truck series. And I genuinely don't know how to fix it. Hey, the Raiders-Niners game is on the TV. I'm going to throw that on so I can have that on too. 13-13 tied for the Raiders-Niners. Voting is now open for player of the game for the Mariners-Mets game. You can vote at MLB.com. If you're in the live feed of the game, you can vote and you can tap here. Bottom of the sixth is over. Mariners coming up to bat with... They're facing Soto, a left-handed pitcher. They're facing Gregory Soto, who is 1-3 this season with a 3.3 ERA, 53 games, 1 save, 43 in the third innings pitched. He's actually the same guy from the last inning. He's got 2/3 of an inning pitched, so he must face Jorge Polanco, and then he can be relieved because he would have faced 3 batters. With 1 strikeout, no runs given up, 8 pitches, 5 of them for strikes. Polanco in there. Remember, Polanco is a switch hitter, and he is able to hit from both sides of the plate. Why is Applebee's showing up on the other commercial? Applebee's iconic 2 for $25 menu. And Polanco, swing and a miss on a ball outside the zone that nearly hit him. Polanco takes a ball. 1-1. Raiders football. Apparently there's going to be a donation by somebody for every first down at Allegiant Stadium. Man, that's a swing and a miss by Polanco on a ball that's just under the zone on the bottom rail. Polanco steps out, timeout. Aiden O'Connell is playing quarterback for the Raiders. Last week at the Seahawks, he was 18 of 30 for 205 with 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I'm doing multiple things at once right now. I'm thinking this year I'm going to do a live stream of every Bills game except the Thursday night ones. And Polanco takes ball 2. Count evens. I forgot Pete Carroll is the Raiders coach. Genuinely forgot that Pete Carroll is the Raiders coach. And I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. Polanco takes ball 3. We got a full count. Payoff pitch coming up. 3rd and 10 for the Raiders. And O'Connell drops back, looks to throw, and pass is caught for a first down. And Polanco grounds out to the shortstop to first base. My mother just informed me that we don't know if Grandma has an aide tomorrow, meaning Mom and I might have to go to Grandma's house tomorrow. So I got to get ready for tomorrow to be prepared that I might have to go and change my grandpa's diaper tomorrow. Not looking forward to that. O'Connell stepping up, swing pass, and that is out to the 27-yard line. Gain of about 6 on the play. Dom Canzone up to the plate for the Mariners. Soto still pitching for the Mets. No mound visit here. Got a penalty on the Raiders. Ten-yard penalty. It's a holding penalty. Canzone with a swing and strike twice here. 0-2. Dom Canzone steps out for a timeout. First and 20 for the Raiders. Ball one to con zone. This is an interesting pattern. It looks like every time a batter steps out, the very next pitch is a ball, and fouled off. So we got a 1-2 count on Dom Canzone. Dom is 1-2 with a strikeout today. Dom Canzone has been raking since being called up from AAA with a 287 average and a 799 OPS. He's got a WRC plus over 100. Mariners sit 13 games over 500 right now. Mets sit 8 games over 500. Mariners are 68 and 55. Mets 64 and 58. Score 1-0. Mets top of the 7th. Mets 1 run on 6 hits. Mariners no runs on 2. Temperatures to plummet where I am tomorrow, which will be nothing. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter. What the hell happened? And that's a swinging strikeout for Dom Canzone. 2 outs, nobody on. We've got J.P. Crawford coming up. Cole Young on deck. Randy Arozarena in the hole. Cole Young has reached base a couple of times. So far this week, Cole Young has reached base 4 times, including 4 walks the other day. It was, I think, the first Mariners 4-walk game since Ricky Henderson was on our team. We've had a lot of legends of the game come through. Remember, Gaylord Perry got his 300th win for us. We had Alex Rodriguez for a while, obviously Ken Griffey, and that's a ball way outside the zone. Wish we had a base runner. We probably would have been able to steal on that. Griffey Jr., we had Julio, I think, potentially has the chance to be one of the greatest center fielders of all time. We obviously had Ichiro. And J.P. Crawford is going to ground out to second. Cole Young will lead off the top of the 8th. Going down into the bottom of the 7th, we've got Batty, Lindor, Soto. 1 for 2 for Beatty, 1 for 3 with a double for Lindor, and Soto is 1 for 3 with a strikeout. I'm gonna imagine we go to Matt Brash here, but Matt Brash pitched yesterday. I'm gonna imagine Matt Brash is who we call on for the 7th. Either that, or we go to like Tyler Saucedo, who just got called up from AAA yesterday. Luke Raley is available for the Mariners. He got activated from the injured list yesterday. Logan Evans was placed to the 15-day injured list with elbow inflammation. And Tyler Saucedo was called up. Outside of that, the Mariners are waiting on Victor Robles to potentially be able to make his return to the roster. The Mariners would be able to add 1 pitcher and 1 position player to the roster because you can have 14 pitchers after the September call-ups. And I believe the Mariners are going to use the position player on Victor Robles. And who knows what's going to happen with the pitching stuff, because I think we might go to a 6-man rotation going into the playoffs, especially if we can maintain this lead and potentially also have a chance to lead on the wild card and potentially also have a chance to go and win against Houston in those last couple of games. The big problem for the Mariners is our last 6 games are 3 at home against Colorado and then 3 at home against the fucking Dodgers. I don't want to play the Dodgers to end the season. There were talks this year of the Dodgers potentially beating our 116-win record. And Caleb Ferguson comes in to replace Brian Wu. Caleb Ferguson is 3-2 with a 3.83 ERA in 53 games. No saves, no games started, 50 1/3 innings pitched, 40 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.03, which is lower than his career whip of 1.28. 354 strikeouts in 312 innings with 6 saves and 14 starts in his career. His last appearance was yesterday, where he pitched an inning and struck out one. I'm actually surprised that we have him out there. And he is going to be facing Beatty and throws a first pitch ball. It's a sinker well inside that almost hit Beatty in the stomach. Toyota or Ford? I'd probably go with a Toyota. Ford, fix or repair daily. Fiat is fix it again, Tony. Like Dale said in that first episode of King of the Hill. All right, here we go. Brian Wu does get through 6 innings for the Mariners today, in line for a loss if the Mariners can't get the offense going. Unfortunately, a 1-0 loss would be what the Mariners are in line for. Mariners have had a really good defensive showing today, only giving up 6 hits, and that's a called strike. Count goes to 1-1. Only giving up 6 hits, and actually they've walked 2. Brian Wu, if he goes 5 more starts of 6 innings without walking a third batter in any of them, will tie a 1904 Cy Young record. And I heard this from Rick Riz earlier today on the radio, of 30 or more. And Brett Beatty singles to right field of 30 or more starts in a single season with 6+ innings pitched and 2 or fewer walks. And this is a modern era record, so since 1901. 1903, the first modern World Series. There was a point, actually, where walks were considered errors in the 1890s, which was interesting. There was also one year in, I think, 1895, where it took 4 strikes to actually go ahead and Beatty steals second as Ferguson throws in a ball. He's only thrown 2 out of his 5 pitches for a strike. That's only a 40% strike rate. I don't like that. 0% first pitch strike. I don't like that at all. Caleb Ferguson is going to need to do something to get back in. 1 on, runner stands at second. 1 on, nobody out. Runner stands at second. Mariners have Ferguson pitching, and we are facing Francisco Lindor, who takes a slurve at 81 miles an hour for a ball. The new rules state that you must face 3 batters. So on deck is Soto, and Lindor takes a timeout. And then in the hole is Francisco Lindor is 1 for 5 with a home run and 3 ribbies with 2 strikeouts against Ferguson in his career. Ferguson has now thrown 2 of his 6 pitches for a strike. I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now. Do you hear the people sing? Raiders up 16-13 on the 49ers. 49ers football, 4th down. And for some reason, Francisco Lindor fouls a bunt. 2-1. Remember, you can foul off your first 2 strikes in a bunt, but if you foul a bunt on a third one, it is an out, whether or not it ends in a glove. It's a strikeout. That's the only out in the history of the Major League Baseball where it does not count as a... Francisco Lindor hits a single to Randy Arozarena, Brett Beatty III. And runners on the corners for the Mets. My friends and I are talking about bodybuilding. Have you guys seen Nick Walker's physique? Nick Walker's physique, that's his upper body. He is one of the favorites to win the Olympia right now. Him and Dota are the favorites to win the Olympia. It's 9 weeks out. And I am wondering what his cycle is. Bunch of people are like, yeah, he's natty, he's natty. Juan Soto steps in and called strike on an 81-mile-an-hour cutter. 88.1-mile-an-hour cutter. Ferguson now back into it with an 0-1 on Soto. Strike 2 on a swing and a miss. But yeah, what do you guys think of Nick Walker's physique? I think there's a potential for him to win the Olympia, especially with the upper body. He's very vascular. Like, very, very vascular. But some of his stuff, like his legs, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen with that. And Ferguson throws over to first base, and he does not get a success. Alrighty. Ferguson's faced 2. This is his 3rd batter. I think no matter the result, this might be his last batter. And that's a ball. Francisco Lindor gets his 20th steal of the season as he steals 2nd. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and the count is 1-2 for Juan Soto. Juan Soto is 1 for 3 today with a strikeout, and he's 1 for 6 against Ferguson. And Soto hits a ball, and it's to deep center field, and it is a sac fly to Julio Rodriguez. Beatty scores 2-0 Mets. And Lindor has to stay put at 2nd. Two nothing Mets. Ferguson gives up a run. He's got an out for 1/3 of an inning pitched so far today. Alonso on deck. In the hole, McNeil. Nimmo up to bat. 2-0 Mets on 8 hits for the Mets. 2 runs, 2 hits, no runs for the Mariners. Mets have done extremely well, and that's a ball to Brendan Nimmo. Here we go. I have an MRI Monday. I'm not looking forward to that because it's an open MRI. And pitcher step off. 1-0 to Nimmo. 1 on at 2nd, 1 out. I'm actually kind of terrified about my MRI Monday. Because I'm kind of terrified about the results, but also I'm kind of just scared. I'm claustrophobic. It's not fun. Yeah, that's ball 2 and a swinging strike. So 2-1. I missed a pitch here because I got the football game on the other screen. I've got 3 screens going on. I'm keeping an eye on the doggy, and I'm staring at Nick Walker's chest. Well, no, that is what I'm doing. 2-1. 2-1 pitch coming up to Nimmo. And we got a ball in play. And oh, it looks like there's going to be a play at the plate. I can't tell what actually happened. Brandon Nimmo singles. Francisco Lindor out on the throw at home. And then Nimmo goes to 2nd on the throw. We got a mound visit. Looks like we're probably getting a pitching change here. I don't think you can let Caleb Ferguson go in. It is 9 hits for the Mets on 2 runs on 9 hits for the Mets. Mariners need to bring somebody in, probably a high leverage guy, so that we can keep it within 2 to 3 runs, so that we can actually have the top of our order do something in the next couple of innings. Mariners are quickly running out of outs. They've only got 6 left. Mariners are very quickly running out of outs. 2-0 Mets. Ryan Wu pitched well. Caleb Ferguson did not. Unfortunately. We got Alonso on deck, McNeil, and then in the hole, Alvarez. Carlos Vargas comes in. Ryan Vargas is the race car driver. Carlos Vargas is going to come in to replace Caleb Ferguson. I think that's the best decision here. Touchdown, 49ers. Bills play the Bears tomorrow at 8 on Fox. In a nationally televised game. I may or may not be able to have some of that on. I'll probably be watching Tank or Mac and Cheese. Well, if you're asking me if I want a tank or I want macaroni and cheese, those aren't comparable. Like, macaroni and cheese is delicious, but a tank's a fucking tank. If I had a tank, I could get unlimited macaroni and cheese. I would just show up to Walmart and be like, I want all the macaroni and cheese. And they'd be like, no. And I'd be like, I have a tank. What are you going to do about it? Like, really? What would they do about it? If I got a tank, I got unlimited macaroni and cheese. Like, legitimately unlimited macaroni and cheese with a tank. There's a game at 10 o'clock tonight on NFL Network. Oh, the Jags play the Saints tomorrow at 1. Wait a bloody minute. I need to look at the NFL website real quick. When I see a real face. Like, come on, man. You can't just say tank or macaroni and cheese and expect anybody to not tank the tank. Honestly, I'd question why anybody would take the mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is one time. I mean, I guess, like, there's the insurance on the tank, and I guess the Army might try to take your tank. So I guess there's some downsides to having a tank. Actually, there's a dude who lives by me who's got a tank. There was this whole fucking lawsuit about it. He's not allowed to have ammo in it. But he's allowed to drive it on the road. So there's a 9:30 game on NFL Network today and a 7 o'clock game on NFL Network with Jets-Giants, which might be interesting to watch, but I'll probably be watching Cup. All right, so tomorrow it's Bills, Bears on Fox, and NFL Network, Jags-Saints at 1. And then Monday Night Football on ESPN, and Pete Alonso doubles on a ground ball to left fielder Randy Rosareno. Brandon Nimmo scores, and that makes it 3-0 Mets. Carlos Vargas gives up 1 hit. 1 on, 2 outs. Looking to see what the Mariners can do. Mariners quickly running out of outs. They only got 6, and Vargas sends it into a strike to McNeil, the designated hitter. And that's a ball, 1-1 count. Mariners just need 1 out to get out of the inning, and then they need 3 runs on 6 outs. Looking like the Mets are probably going to have a chance to win this game, but remember, the Mets have not won much in the last 19 games. They have, I believe, the second worst record behind the Rockies in the last 19. And that's a first down for the Raiders. We got a 1-1 count here to McNeil. Swing and strike. Swing and a miss. I don't know what we can do with Caleb Ferguson here. Because it's not like he pitched incredibly poorly. But yeah, we've got to figure something out. Because we only got 2 lefties in the pen. And that's strike 3 on a swing and a miss. Cole Young, Randy Rosarena, Cal Raleigh are coming up. Cole Young is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Randy 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And Cal 1 for 1 with a walk, 2 walks, and a stolen base. Cal is potentially the MVP of this game for the Mariners today. And I don't say that lightly, as Cal is who I think should win the MVP in the American League. Yes, even above Aaron Judge. And the reason I say that is because With Aaron Judge missing some time in New York, the Yankees were not as bad as you would have expected them to be. They were still winning games. If Cal Raleigh loses time as the catcher for the Mariners, they have to play Mitch Garver every day and bring up Harry Ford. They would lose next week for the NFL Network. Steelers, Panthers. And then that's on Thursday. On Friday, we've got on CBS Vikings, Titans, Falcons, Cowboys on NFL Network, both at 8. On Saturday, we've got a 1 o'clock NFL Network game, Rams, Browns, a 4 o'clock NFL Network of Seahawks, Dolphins, Bills, Bucks, 7:30 that I'll get to watch because it's local, and then 10 p.m. Raiders, Cardinals, and then that is the end of the preseason. Ends on Saturday. Edwin Diaz replaces Gregory Soto, right-handed pitcher today. Edwin Diaz is 5-2 with a 1.57 ERA in 46 games, 23 saves, 46 innings pitched, 68 strikeouts, a .91 WHIP. In his last appearance was the 14th versus the Braves. He went 1 inning and struck out 1 with no decisions. In his last 30 games, he's 4-2 with a .6 ERA, with 15 saves, 30 innings pitched, 14 hits, 2 earned runs, 10 walks, 45 strikeouts, and a WHIP of .8. This is going to make it very difficult for the Mariners. Mariners down to their final 6 outs here in the top of the 8th. Mariners getting ready with Cole Young up to bat. Cole Young has one of the best plate disciplines I've ever seen from a young player. Took 4 walks the other day in an absolutely amazing performance. Reached base 4 times yesterday as well. Or not yesterday as well. Reached base 4 times yesterday as well with 3 hits and a walk, or 2 hits and a walk and 2 walks. It was absolutely amazing what Cole Young did. Mariners offense struggling the day after putting up 11 extra base hits and setting a franchise record with 9 doubles. And that's a swing and a miss for a strike. Mariners almost certainly are going to have to bring in Matt Brash in the next in the bottom of the inning unless something happens. I would not use Munoz in a 3-0 game here. And that's a ball, 1-1. Counts 1-1. And ball 2, 2-1 count to Cole Young. Bottom of the Mariners order was actually really good at getting on base. J.P. Crawford at one point this season led the American League in OBP. And that's a foul tip. 2-2. Diaz back into the count. And Cole Young grounds out to Edwin Diaz. Not great, but it is what it is. Diaz has only thrown 3 strikes on 5 pitches for a 60% strike rate. Yet he threw 1 first pitch strike. Randy Arozarena comes up 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Made a video about some of the problems in Randy Arozarena's game, especially with the strikeouts. He is on pace by the time his Mariners tenure could come to an end at the end of next season to be in the top 200 all-time of strikeouts. And that is a major, major problem. Now, yes, we understand that strikeouts are not as bad as he takes strike 1 on a very hittable ball. Are not as bad, but putting the ball in play and getting on base is very important. And Randy takes a second strike on a fastball, or on a slider middle of the plate. And swing and a miss. Randy Arozarena gets his 3rd strikeout of the day to bring up Cal Raleigh, who's been on base 3 times today, 1 for 1 with 2 walks. A lot of pitchers are avoiding pitching competitive pitches to Cal because he's got 46 home runs on the season. Broke a tie with Johnny Bench for 3rd all-time among primary catchers yesterday, as that's a ball well outside. 1-0 to Cal. Julio Rodriguez on deck and Josh Naylor in the hole. I like this, and that's ball 2 to Cal on a ball high and outside. This might be one of those unintentional, intentional walks. And Cal hits the baseball. Ooh, they hit him a strike. They sent him a strike to hit, and he hit it for a single. Cal's 2 for 2 with 2 walks, on base for the 4th time for the 2nd straight day. Julio Rodriguez up to bat. One swing of the bat can change the complexion of this game. Julio Rodriguez is 0 for 3 with a strikeout today, 258 average with a 770 OPS. But it's August, and we all know about August Julio. Julio Rodriguez follows off the first pitch. Naylor on deck. Suarez in the hole. 0-1 on Julio, and that's a called strike on a ball low in the zone, but still in the zone. And Julio Rodriguez, swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. Strike 3 called. Julio strikes out again. Another wasted Cal Raleigh time on base. He could have potentially scored 4 runs today. Every time you get on base, you get a chance to score a run. It's a whole thing. There's an article on MLB.com today talking about how Shohei Ohtani has the chance to become the first player since 2000 and just the second since Ted Williams to score 150 runs in a season, which is bloody impressive. Mariners down to their final 3 outs. Mets coming up for the bottom of the 8th. It's Francisco Alvarez, Cedric Mullins, and Mauricio. So the bottom of the order other than Batty. So 6, 7, 8 coming up. Their catcher, their center fielder, and their shortstop. Shortstop? Third baseman. I don't know why it looked like it said shortstop, but I was like, I know he's not the shortstop. Right-handed batter, left-handed batter, switch hitter. That's what it meant. All right, here we go. Alvarez steps into the plate. Don't know who the Mariners pitcher is yet. They didn't mention it. Looks like we'll know in a second. Mariners had Vargas in the last half inning. I got to go to the county fair this year, which was pretty fucking epic. And Casey Legumina replaces Carlos Vargas. I don't hate Casey Legumina being the option here because he did not pitch yesterday. Casey Legumina is 4-6 with a 5.15 ERA with 43 and 2/3 innings pitched, 48 strikeouts, and a 1.4 WHIP. In his last appearance was at Baltimore, where he pitched 1 1/3 innings, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. In his last 30, he's 1-5 with a 6.46 ERA with 1 start. 30 and a 2/3 innings pitched. When did he start for us? When did Casey Legumina start for us? I don't remember that. And that's a called strike on a ball well outside the zone. The count goes to 1-2 or 2-1. A couple of balls there. Yep, very interesting. Okay, yeah, he started a game this year. I genuinely don't remember that, and that's a called strike. 2-2. Started our game on May 20th. And that Francisco Alvarez rounds out to Cole Young. Oh, that's right. That was the game Casey Lawrence went and pitched 5 innings for us. Now I remember what happened. That was when our rotation got all fucked up. And that's a called strike on Cedric Mullins. 0-1 the count. 1 out, nobody on. Poppy, why are you over there? Alexa, turn on light 2. Number 2. Alexa, turn on light 2.
Okay.
And we got a foul. 0-2 on Mullins. And I've got a light right behind me. I don't really love that, but that's just the best way I can do with this computer right now. Alrighty. Huh, it shows it in minutes. 61 minutes, 22 seconds. And that's a foul for an 0-2 count. Remember, back in the day, back before the 1890s, you could foul off as many or you couldn't foul off as many pitches as you wanted. Your third foul was a strikeout, and you don't do that anymore. I really like that change, along with the change of the mound going to 66 and or 60 feet 6 inches, 60 and a half feet. And Casey Legamina foul back, another foul ball. Mariners down to their final 3 outs. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. And that's a ball. 1-2 count. Absolutely not a competitive pitch at all. Very far out. Not one that I would say that is like something that I would want to look into for betting, but I do want to look at the Emmanuel Clase stuff closer. And another ball on a sweeper didn't look great either. Not very competitive pitch. As we've got the cheerleaders on the TV. And we got a foul on the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Seventh pitch at bat. Going to have the 8th pitch here. Hopefully we can get a strikeout or just a ball in play. Cedric Mullins is over 2 with a walk and a strikeout today. And he's called out on strike. Strike 3 called. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Mariners looking to get 1 more out here. And then get the offense going. We got Legamina against Mauricio. And he is 0-3 with 2 strikeouts today. 1916 Raiders. First pitch called a ball despite it being in the strike zone. We're going to have to take a look at the EQC tracer. Second pitch fouled back. And Ronnie Mauricio flies out to Randy Arozarena. Not very far out in left field. Randy gets the nice play. Mariners have Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez, and Jorge Polanco, who are combined 0-9 with 4 strikeouts today. Coming up in their final 3 outs for here. We'll see who the Mets throw at the Mariners. Mets have blown multiple leads, including several yesterday, over the last 15 games. The Mets got their 50th win. Their 60th win back in July. And currently sit at 64-58. Mariners sit at 68-55, 13 games over 500, hold the first wild card spot in the American League, and enter to play just a couple of games back of Houston. Actually, potentially even only 1 game back of Houston. I'm going to have to double check that because yesterday Houston lost to the Orioles. The Orioles had a perfect game going in to the bottom of the eighth yesterday that was lost on the with 2 outs in the bottom of the eighth, which stinks. But I've seen perfect games lost on other things. A couple years ago, I was watching the Cubs, and Mariners sit half a game back of the Astros and 2.5 games up on the last wildcard spot. Rangers are 8 games back of the Astros. Angels are 9 games back, and the Athletics are 14. The Athletics are 55 and 69. Angels are 59 and 63, and Rangers are 61 and 63. No announcement yet on who the Mets are throwing out at the Mariners for their final 3 outs. It is a save situation, so I bet that they will bring out their closer. Josh Naylor up to bat, then Gino, then Jorge Polanco. Jorge Polanco is having an amazing bounce-back season. Recorded his 1,000th career hit earlier this year, which is something that's very impressive. Not a lot of Major League players do that, as we know. Even fewer hit 2,000, and even fewer than that hit 3,000. Of course, we know Ichiro is the all-time leader in professional hits with over 4,000. Pete Rose, the leader in Major League Baseball. They brought back out Edwin Diaz in 14 pitches. So yeah, okay. This is going to be interesting. Looks like he's going for a 6-out save. I don't hate the idea of a 6-out save. There's nobody here right now. That's fine. Oh, yeah. Josh Naylor steps in against Edwin Diaz. Let's see what happens. I could see a million things happening here, and one of them's good, and that's Naylor, Polanco getting on base, Gino getting on base. Game advisory. There's an on-field delay.
That's possible. It's hard for us to tell. We're stuck under an overhang. It feels like there's still enough daylight to right.
Looks like there's some lighting issues going on here at Citi Field. This is a regulation game, and the Mets would be able to say that, it's over. But if the umpires choose, I